helmets have come a long way. They're not what they used to be. This smart helmet has crash detection, and paired with this remote, you get turn signals and auto brake lights. Did you know that close to 1/3 of fatal bike accidents are actually happening between 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.? This helmet is bright. You're sure to be seen at night. So how well does this helmet work or not? Let's dig in. This is the FARO helmet by Unit 1. This is the old version. The company asked if I wanted to do a review for this. I checked them out. I thought this helmet was pretty legit, so I said yes, send this over. They still only really got to play with it recently, like in the last month or so. I've updated my review to reflect all of the newest information. In terms of the styling and design, this comes in 4 different colors. This is the Blackbird. They also have Maverick, Stingray, and Juniper, and they're all matte. It's already scuffed a little bit here and there, despite having taken some care of it. I have another helmet that's matte finish, and it's got a more rubbery finish, and that finish has held up super, super well over many years, over many drops and scuffs. So finish could be a little bit better, but also it's a helmet. It's meant to protect you, so I'm not gonna harp on that too much. It comes in 3 sizes, small, medium, large. You have a dial on the back. In order for this to work well for safety, you do need to have a good fit, a turn dial to get it nice and tight on your head. It goes right to the back and it protects your head. It does a good job at staying. There is some padding on the inside to keep it really comfortable. The padding is removable, so you could always give it a good wash if you get really sweaty in there. Has a little baby visor here, but I always wear sunglasses when it's bright outside anyway. It has these straps here, these very thin fabric straps. I kind of wish it was a little bit more heavy duty of a material. It seems a bit flimsy compared to how heavy duty this helmet is, but it works, it does the job. And it starts from the back all the way to the front, so it won't cut your ears. It feels really good and firmly supported on your head. Also, it has my favorite, magnets from Fidlock. I have this on one of my other helmets, and to me, this is now a must. It makes it ridiculously easy to put on and off, little tabs, so you can easily do it without having to look, and you don't have to fiddle with anything. I guess that's why it's called Fidlock. In terms of strap management, you have these 2 things here where the straps fall into. Once you get the length right, you clip it, see if you like that, and then to get a better fit, you can move these all the way up to close to your ears, so it doesn't bother your ear, but it's tighter up there like that. This little elastic strap right here to hold the straps together, but doesn't do an adequate job. And then this ends up flapping in the wind, very annoyingly. One of the solutions that I found for this is to use the existing elastic strap right here, take the excessive strap, re-loop it back in so that there is less flapping in the wind. Now, not the most elegant solution, but it works. That is one detail that I do wish that the company had focused on when designing the helmet. Really subtle logo a little bit everywhere, along the sides here, along the side here. Good amount of ventilation, 2 big ones all the way here. And then you've also got vents in the back. They mention a hidden ventilation, which feature intakes, which are the channels that are inside of the helmet in between the padding areas, in combination with the big vents on the top and the back. I don't have a sweaty head, so this has not really been an issue for me. I find it pretty adequate though for all the air to go in there. And I use this on my electric bike, so I'm generally not breaking a sweat either on that. Then you have this nice fabric on the back. This houses something quite special, which we'll get into right after. It is IP6 waterproof, dustproof. It can handle some weather resistance. It weighs 580 grams, about 1.3 pounds. I find it a little bit heavy on my head, especially compared to my other helmets. It doesn't cause any neck pain or anything, but it is noticeable in weight. However, it also does house a lot of electronic components in there, so it's very understandable and it's not comparable to other helmets because of that. In terms of safety features, MIPS is a new certification that's been around for a few years in helmets, and it's this little yellow piece that goes on the inside, and it doesn't look like it does very much. It helps with absorbing some of the rotational force when you fall. It helps to protect your noggin, helps to protect your brain, which, you know, you kind of need that. That used to be an option, and they've now made that standard, which I think was the right move to make, because if you have such a high quality helmet with all these lights and everything and all these features, why would you just not go that extra mile and just make that a standard? So that is now a standard, certified CPSC and EN10. It has an ABS hardshell. Something else that's really cool is they have crash detection. You do need to use the app to enable this. And if you've connected everything, the helmet have accelerometers and sensors in it So when it detects that you have a crash, you'll then have a countdown and it will send a text message to your emergency contact, which you also have to set up in the app. It'll send a message to that contact with a live location link. That's not something I've been able to test out because I haven't had a crash. Now let's talk about the most exciting part of this helmet, the lights. There are 3 different lights that you have on this helmet. Let's turn it on. The power button's right here. It's very inconspicuous. Press it. It's a little hard to press. Maybe they've improved it in the updated version. You press that, and there you are. 500 plus lumens in total. Your backlight, you have this hidden light that is behind this fabric. It's very durable fabric. Then you have your front light. So you will be very visible from pretty much all sides. I don't know why anybody would be on the top, but you'd be visible pretty much all around. It is very bright. And it's really cool. Every single time I'm stopped somewhere in a store and the helmet, I just like leave it on because I'm running in and out. I always get a little compliment, or once I had this little girl say something about my helmet and then she just like appeared in front of me and just stared at me and stared at the helmet like I was some astronaut or something. So it was pretty cool. It's like a bonus feature. I get stopped a lot on this helmet, let me tell you. Over here we have 46 LEDs powering this whole hidden light, as they call it. It's not really hidden once it's on. There are a few presets that come in the phone baked in. These are some of the examples of how that looks like. You can go ham and customize your own and have lots of different options. For the backlight, which is that red strip on the back, it's always going to be red. You can choose between 4 different patterns: solid, strobe, flash, beacon. You can also adjust the intensity of the light or shut the light off completely. And you have the same 4 patterns and options for the front white light. For the hidden lights, you have plenty of patterns to choose from. So we have the same 4: solid, strobe, flash, beacon. And then you have even more like bounce, wave, sweep, fireworks, and rainbow that cycle through all of the colors. Speaking of which, for all of the light patterns, minus rainbow of course, because that already has all of the colors, you can choose the color for said light pattern: red, blue, green, yellow, or purple. Cool, right? I tried different colors. I thought it was fun. I had the rainbow one during Pride Month. What I actually found with this one, and for a lot of the other colors, the brake lights didn't really pop out anymore, especially with the rainbow color. If you look on the color wheel, opposite of red is actually blue. And I do like blue. I actually set my hidden lights here to the pattern fireworks because I thought that was cool. It sparkles everywhere. And blue, when the brake light comes on, which is the opposite color spectrum, it's contrasting a lot. So I actually did that for safety reasons. If you get the navigation remote, you get 2 more options: turn signal and auto brake lights. For turn signals, there are 3 options to choose from, such as blinker, full sweep, half sweep. The front light also has a turn signal, though it's just a white blinker, and you can set the duration from one of the 3 options if you want it to auto shut off on its own, or you can set it to manual, where you have to start and stop the turn signal yourself. I find that the half sweep or the full sweep looks super nice, but I think it's just a lot clearer and people understand it a lot more. Blinking action. This is not common. People are not necessarily looking at your helmet to be like, oh, there's a turn signal on there. So I just prefer making it super, super obvious and clear. I'm going for safety, I'm not going for beauty. To install this, it's super easy. It's just this rubber piece, it stretches and it goes onto most handlebars. If you live somewhere where you're maybe a little bit worried to leave accessories on your bike, or if you just want to pop this off to charge, you could actually twist this off and bring this, and then this as well is a USB-C to charge. On the navigation remote, there's little left and right indicators. You want this as straight as possible and on the handlebar so that the accelerometer does work properly for the auto brake lights. For the brake lights, it's automatic and works via the navigation remote. It can either be solid or strobe when you're stopping or slowing down, and you can adjust the sensitivity between low, medium, high. I found the brake lights to work well when doing a quick stop, and less so when slowing down at all sensitivity levels. But it's still better than nothing in my opinion, especially at night where it catches the eye and helps signal your attention to people around you.
but always be safe when you're biking.
Ultimately, it's a nice to have. Then there's even additional features such as weather and daylight modes. I personally don't like the weather mode because I was having issues with the hidden lights not always showing. That was the only thing that could affect it. If it's really sunny outside, they're not gonna be super visible. But at night, or even cloudy days, this is when this thing shines, quite literally. During the day, I personally still use my left and right hand signals because it's universal. This is not gonna be as bright. They're not necessarily gonna be focusing on the light, so my hand sticking out is gonna draw attention. At night, they're not necessarily gonna see my hand, but the helmet is super bright, that this will help. So this is definitely an added bonus if you have the cash for it. If you have several bikes, you can actually get several remotes and pair them all with one helmet. In order to do any of this customization and to choose the different presets for your helmet, you do need to connect it and get the app for that. The app will show you the different battery life for each preset. What I do really like with this helmet is that every time you turn the lights on and off, you have this right here. This right here is your battery life indicator. So it just gives you a heads up on when you gotta charge this thing. That's a great feature. That's some good design. And then it even changes color depending on the amount of battery life. To charge this, it is USB-C, which I like, so it's future-proof.
Battery runtime is 3 to 10 hours depending on light intensity and patterns chosen.
The battery life on the navigation remotes lasts over a month. Battery, not replaceable. It's supposed to last 500 plus cycles of recharge. If you charge it 2 to 3 times a week, that would equal to about 3.5 to 5 year lifespan, which coincidentally goes with the lifespan of the helmet. Because did you know that bike helmets, even if you haven't crashed it, there is actually a certain lifespan. See with your manufacturer what they suggest in terms of lifespan. I personally don't charge my helmet that much. I have 2 bikes now. I have an e-bike, which I really love. I'll link it in the description down below. I don't use as well every day, so I'm alternating between the e-bike with this helmet, and then I'm alternating with my road bike with another helmet. My battery life is gonna outlive the amount of time that I should keep this helmet for. So in terms of cost, this is $269. All of that will be in the description down below. They ship to US, Canada, European Union. They also ship to Iceland, Norway, Switzerland, the UK. For the US and EU, there is free shipping. There is also a 30-day hassle-free return. Who is this for? I wouldn't think that this is for any hardcore spandex-wearing road cyclists who are after the gram, as in the weight of every gram of every item, like reducing their weight and their drag as much as possible. Like, this is not an aerodynamic helmet by any means. I think this is great for the urban or suburban bike cyclist that wants a lot of visibility, wants good visibility, and maybe doesn't even want to bother with a bike light. This front light's not going to be super bright. You're not going to be able to illuminate everything that's in front of you that much. It's more for visibility. You could reduce your light. You wouldn't really need to have a back rear red light on your bike. So that's one less light to deal with. If you're curious to see what helmet I use for my road bike, you could check that out right here. And if you want to learn more about my road bike, you could check that out right here. Thanks for watching.